What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Hold Husband Podcast. I'm your host, Terry DeRon. I got both of my co-hosts on the line with me tonight. I got my man, Jay Bobo in the building. What's good?
Not much, man. Hopefully everybody enjoyed their Christmas here. Definitely looking forward to the last episode of 2023. But want to quickly remind you, you can catch us on TikTok as well as subscribe to us on YouTube at Hold Husband Podcast. And for those of you interested in promos and shout outs, you can shoot us a DM at Hold Husband Podcast on IG, as well as shoot us an email at holdhusbandpodcast@gmail.com. All right, T.
I also got my man SD in the building. What's good, bro?
Nothing, man. I'm feeling real good. Made it to the fantasy football championship, so hopefully I can bring the trophy home right here to Hold the Husband Podcast. All right. So y'all wish me luck with that. But first, I want to give a shout out to Brother Soul Productions for always keeping the background audio fresh. And I want to remind you all to donate to the Hold the Husband Podcast on Cash App and PayPal. All right, T.
I want to remind everybody, y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on thecore94.com. Tonight's episode is titled New Year, New Me. So we wanted to talk about self-improvement and how important that is to actually having a healthy relationship. But y'all know how we do around here, man. We like to discuss stuff that we've seen on our timelines or things that have been trending. And I saw a real interesting post on my timeline recently where it was a guy talking about his experience in marriage counseling. Let's take a listen.
In our premarital class, and they did something really funny. When we first got there, they was like, unlock your phone and give your spouse the phone so we could take a selfie, because they wanted us to have pictures of ourselves in our spouse's phone. And so we took the picture, and then they was like, okay, now go through it. Oh my God. You could have heard a pin fall in the room the way those people was acting. Oh, they was terrified. Some guys was even reaching to get their phone back. But it showed you in that moment that they could not trust each other. And you meaning to tell me that you all will share beds, but you can't sell cell phone passwords? You will share your body, but I can't see your phone. Come on, man. But we supposed to have good relationship. My wife got the password to everything, because I ain't got nothing to hide. You gotta have trust in our relationship. I'm talking about real trust. Real trust. You can't tell me you're gonna give me your body, but you hiding in your phone. You hiding in your social media.
I remember there was a time where I would be vehemently against what he said. I agree with almost everything that he said. I don't think that it's a necessity that you share all your passwords, all your access to everything with your spouse. But there's a big difference between having privacy and hiding stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like any person in a marriage or relationship, they should be able to have private conversations with their friends and other family members that they spouse don't get to monitor or go through and read behind them. But what he said about actually having trust, man, when you out here doing dirt, man, and your spouse got your phone or asked for your phone, let me see something like, what was that video? Like, man, when you don't know when a text or something's gonna come through, it's definitely a certain level of anxiety that comes with that. So I can definitely relate to how he described the people in the room.
Yeah, because them heifers always seem to text you when she got your phone. Like, they text me all day. Now you talk about how you doing, boo. What are you doing, ho? No, man, but listen, that's my guy Solo Raw from Chicago. He did all my tattoos. And I remember him, when he wasn't married. And now he been married now for probably 8 years or so. And really good dude, man. Really good dude, man. So shout out to Solo Raw. Check him out, man. Y'all get a chance. But he's 100% right. Like, I'm cool with the password sharing. Like, okay, it's all good, baby, in case you need it. The only time that I have a problem with it is if you have insecurities that I didn't cause, right? I had this discussion on my live the other day where a woman said, it's my requirement when I talk to a man that he give me his passcodes to his phone. And I asked why. She said, well, because in case I get the inkling that you're doing something, because my ex, I found stuff in his phone, blah, 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 blah. And I said, absolutely not. I will not feed your insecurity that way. Now, if a woman come to me and she's like, hey, I would like to be able to get in your phone in case emergencies or whatever, fine, let's share all our passwords, but not because you insecure because another dude came over here. You know what I'm saying? Not because of that. I'm not gonna feed that. You go to counseling and get that out your system because I didn't cause it. So that's the only time I would have a problem with it. But he's also right in the sense that you'll lay down and have unprotected sex with this person, but in the same token, you want to snoop through their phone to see if they are cheating on you. If you believe that they are cheating on you, why in the world, enough to go through their phone, why in the world are you laying down, giving them your body unprotected like that? That just don't make no sense. And so I agree with him on that front also. Jay, what you think?
I mean, listen, I agree in the premise of it. I mean, it's funny. That guy, he don't want you seeing them old nudes. He probably has stashed away in his phone, maybe those old videos. but here's the thing: even if you have each other's passwords and everything like that, right? You can't cheat-proof a relationship here. It don't matter. If somebody want to go cheat, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna go cheat regardless. So, but I see where he's going with that. I agree on the premise of it.
Yeah. Do y'all think that when you get into a relationship, right? And I just want to hear what y'all think. When you get into a relationship, all that old stuff you had in your phone from previous relationships or whatever you should get rid of them. Like the nudes, the video.
Nope.
I don't. I don't have a problem with a person having their own memories. Like, to me, that's you overstepping your bounds when you request that. You know what I mean? Like, I know there are a lot of people that feel like that means that they want to still be with their ex or they still want to. It don't mean none of that. I guess I was on the extreme side. I had a collection of panties. I had a box of panties that I had collected over the years. And my wife felt some type of way about it. You know what I'm saying? So she threw them away one day.
You still had them? You the panty bandit out here? Why in the world you still got panties and you married? Like, what the heck is going on, man?
It was in my box with my letters and just all my old stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't have a. The memories that I had it to trigger my memory. Like when I was thinking panties, I can remember. Oh, that was such and such. Like it would help trigger my memory.
Man, this is next level.
But I think it's
right here. Like, what do you mean?
I guess in that situation might be a bigger difference because you physically have something in your hand.
Yeah. So I understood. That was different. Yeah, pictures is different though. You know what I'm saying? That's like, a memory or a video or something like.
Man,
you should
come on.
Would you have a problem with a chick that still had her shit in her phone?
Cherry. Nah, hold on. You try to tell me if your lady had a collection of drawers. You telling me you'll be cool with that? She got okay.
No,
so
I understood her. I understood. I had empathy for how she felt, so I didn't trip. I got it. But to me, I was trying to make the point like having it didn't mean that I was going to try to link up with them or I wanted them or anything like that.
Cool.
It was just but I understood why she felt some type of way about it. But I would see, me and my wife have been together. We predate the password on the phone era. We had phones where you could just flip the phone open. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's interesting to see how prevalent that is in couples that are newly formed. Because I wanted to ask y'all, so if y'all get with a woman, and like you said, as you kind of alluded to earlier, based on the context why they want to share their passwords, but insecurity is insecurity. So even if she could have your password for a legit reason, she could still go through your phone and start questioning you about who you texting and you know what I'm saying, who is this person and all that. How would you handle that?
Well, first off, let me jump back to this here real quick, right? Because this here is why I say people should get rid of things like that. If you sharing passwords, right? And now you go through you go through somebody's phone, you looking in it for no other reason, and now you come across a dick or some chick's booty hole in your man or woman's phone. You trying to tell me you gonna be okay? You are not gonna be okay. If he coming up short, you'll probably be like, man, get a little man up out of here. Yeah, but if he sit there, he lay that sucker out there, and it's like, bang, you're gonna be like, what's going on? You gonna be insecure then because you see this stuff in your lady's phone. So that stuff, you know, when you get into a relationship and y'all sharing things, like put it on a flash drive, do something else with it, man. Get it out your phone when y'all sharing passwords and things like that. Now, back to the other thing that you was talking about, the reason behind it. What was your question again? Give it to me. Pause.
Yeah. So if she came to you on a legit reason, like you said, and just in case something happened, but she was actually using it to spy on you and started questioning you about DMs or who is this person or why'd you do this? How would you respond to that?
I probably remove her access from I probably change my password, because this is what I found out. The young lady that brought this up the other day, when I dug into start questioning her more on the live, she said, well, he didn't actually cheat. He was just friendly with a coworker. You know, they was just talking. I said, sexually friendly? She said, no, I just didn't like that he was, you know, friendly with her. And so my point for saying that is this. When you go into something looking for something, anything will turn into a problem.
Right.
Anything will turn into an issue. So when you create an issue, because I have had this happen before, where there was nothing there. A girl asked me to go out. She, my ex had my password, and she got it. She was in the phone, and she made this big deal out of it. When I told the girl, no, that's not a good idea because I have a woman now. You know what I'm saying? And she made a huge deal.
What you supposed to say?
I don't know, but my point is, she went in there snooping for something, found something that was nothing, and blew it up and made this huge deal that caused us to stop talking for a while. You know what I'm saying? Over that, when I told the woman, the chick that I had a woman, and and it was like a family friend. It wasn't even somebody. This is somebody I grew up with since I was a kid. Like I never no sexual contact, none of that. She was going through a horrible divorce and all that, and just wanted to get out and go talk and vent. And I explained all this, but it didn't matter because she turned something into nothing because of the negativity going into it. Let me see what I can find, and that's a horrible combination to have. So I would definitely change my password, and it would definitely make me question the relationship, because if you don't trust me like that, why are we laying down together? Why are we together?
I mean, well, think about what you mentioned earlier.
I agree.
You don't really trust somebody, but you smashing raw.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a scenario where y'all been smashing raw for however long a time, and then somebody come to the table like, man, we need to start using condoms again. That's a combustion right there. That I don't see how you could ever go to that.
Can't recover from that.
No, because they're gonna be like, why? What you mean? You put a condom on? What you mean? Why? You got the clap? How you get the clap? Them gonna be the question. So I think that's another recipe for disaster there. Yeah. So
I mean, for me, I'm just, it's one thing to have a password for emergencies, like both you guys said, but it's another thing if you're going through somebody's phone looking through stuff, then you're not doing it in good faith. If I'm giving my password for emergency, which I have yours, I'm doing that in good faith. Even if I have it, I'm not going to look through your phone. I just don't believe in looking through text messages or any of that. Hey, eventually that'll come up. But like I said, if you think you're gonna find something that you don't want to see, you shouldn't go looking through that person's phone to begin with. Because if you go look for stuff, you're gonna find something, and you might not like what you find. Or you just make up scenarios in your head, like SD said.
Yeah, especially if you ain't going nowhere. What you looking for? What you going to look for if you just gonna hoop and holler and then go lay down?
Waste of time.
Man, you might as well go lay down right now. Like, forget it. Waste your breath.
All right, man. Now let's keep things rolling. Now, this next post, It was a video I saw that I just really wanted to discuss with y'all in depth. It was a woman asking a guy, how do guys' sex drives towards his woman, fade or dissipate over time? Let's take a listen.
When does a man's sex drive die down?
The longer he's been with you, it slowly dies down.
Well, so then what, like, after a year? So then what do you do to keep it?
I'm saying men are good though. They'll keep you around. They're more attached to your brain and other shit you could do. It's not about your body, because the body, it's wear and tear after a certain point in time.
Wear and tear. Oh my goodness.
You don't think so?
What are we, objects? Yes.
What are we, assets?
I love his comeback, because that's definitely how a lot of them perceive us. But the idea that we know this already, like we know that beauty fades over time. So I don't understand why women would be shocked at hearing stuff like this. It's common sense, essentially. And what he said, he said exactly what women claim that they want. A man that cares about their personality and cares about more than their body and more than just sex. So if he's telling you that men are willing to keep you around because of your brain, your personality, your character, that's what women claim that they want from men. They don't want to be sexual objects. They don't want to be sexualized. So it's just confusing to see how they responded.
I think they want to be sexual objects, man, to their man. Like, I think because they know a lot of times if they aren't a sexual object to their man, then somebody gonna be a sexual object to their man because of how men are. So I think that, and women understand that how men are. So they like, okay, well, if you remove that component away that I know you love so much, what in the world are you gonna do to compensate for that? You know what I mean? I think that's more of it, in a woman's mind, than anything than just saying, oh well, yeah, now you attach to my mind and how I think and how I carry myself and all these other things. Forget the sex part that's done died down because I'm older or whatever the case. Like, I think it's more of like, okay, well, what you gonna be doing? Like, so I think that's got a lot to do with it. Jay, what you think?
Absolutely. I mean, explain it well what a man's sex drive is there, and she said, oh, well, I'm just an object. I mean, I think if somebody that you care for or that you're with, you're not going to look at her as an object, but at the same time, you're still going to want your sexual needs fulfilled in that situation, right?
Yeah, and you're usually go ahead. I was going to say, and if you're in a serious relationship or in a marriage, your desire for other women don't ever disappear or go away.
Right.
It's just how you respond to it, how you react to those feelings and those urges. So there's nothing that's going to ever erase the excitement of a new woman, especially, for a guy that has success with women. You know what I mean? Like, anytime he comes across a woman that's smashable, he's going to notice her. And in his brain, he's going to think about a lot of possibilities. But as long as he has enough self-control to override that, it shouldn't be an issue.
Right. But that can happen anywhere. It's just, he can just go out to the supermarket and see somebody attracted that's well, or at his job.
He could.
Right.
But
that's why respecting the reaction is so much more important.
Yep.
Yeah, but this is why it's so important for ladies to understand something, right? Your looks may fade. You know what I'm saying? Your titties will drop. Your face will wrinkle up. Your booty will do something. Who knows what that's going to do? You know what I'm saying? You might get a little cut. But one thing that a man will never lose attraction to is your esophagus. Okay? Your esophagus won't change. You know what I mean? Unless you got some type of medical condition with that. But that's why, and I say that to say, as a woman, when you got a man, a husband, or whatever the case, and you concerned with that as you all get older and been together for a while, you got to keep different things that that this man is into. Like, your titties might fall, you might get a little wrinkler and grayer and all that, but he's still gonna be in love with that throat. If you a throat goat, tell me I'm lying. He's still gonna find that type of connect with
couple minutes of happiness.
That's what I'm saying. Like, nah,
don't take
man.
much.
Man, my wife is the throat goat champ. He won't lose that attraction. And you know, it's men too. You got to keep up with something, you know, for your lady that she likes or adores about you. Maybe your tongue game is on point. You know what I'm saying? Or you 50, 60 years old and you can't keep a rock hard for 3-4 hours like you used to be when you was 20. But your tongue game is amazing for your lady. Like, you got to keep things exciting and spicy for your man and your woman, something that they like, so that they maintain that attraction to you and not just going along with you just to be there. You know what I'm saying? Because they mentioned that part too, that a lot of men will just stay there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of married men that I talk to are unhappy sexually. A lot of them. The vast majority.
Well, they call it a sexless marriage. So yeah, it's a thing, because, and we know it's cheaper to keep her, where men are evaluating how much they have to lose by leaving the marriage and whatnot. And so that's why one of the reasons that cheating or finding a side chick is always going to be an option for some guys. But the idea that they're going to the level of physical attraction he has for you is just going to stay the exact same forever. I think that's kind of delusional to start with. But that's just as delusional as the women that my man got to see me as a 10, you know, like that we have this week. I guess we could have had this as one of the topics, Simone Biles, Jonathan Owens situation, where, you know, like he said that he's a catch and women were in an uproar over it, even though he spoke glowingly of her. Women are just delusional in a lot of different ways when it comes to what they expect from men.
Yeah,
no question.
Even that part about, and I know this is a little off topic, but the men, you know, being mad, he say he a prize, while all of them out here trying to find a dude just like him.
Damn.
Ain't that crazy?
Young handsome millionaire with no kids.
That's what I'm saying. All of them trying to find a dude just like dude. He in the top 2-3% of earners, whatever it is. Even though he ain't got no huge contract, he's still making more than the average Joe. I think he probably making $500,000 or $600,000 a year or something, just being a minimum guy, because he's still young, a rookie. So he on a young deal and all that type of stuff. He's not a bad looking dude. He's physically in shape. That's obvious. He in the NFL. And he's marriage minded. Clearly, right? He wants to get married. He's married now, so that's a given. This is the exact man that all of them are trying to get. It's like all the NBA players are trying to get the championship. All the football players are trying to get the championship. That prize. So my problem with it is that a lot of women think that just because they got titties, that they are automatically a prize. It's like a man automatically thinking that he's a leader because he got dick and balls. Like, bro, this ain't the way it works. You have to show and prove that you are a leader and that you are worthy of the position. Much like a prize when it's in terms of people. You have to prove that you are prized through how you carry yourself, through how you deal with people, through how you deal with your kids, and how you prioritize things in your life. Like, you have to show that you are a prize to the opposite sex. That's why they want you that way, because they view you as a prize.
I think it's the word prize. I hate that whole who's the prize the discussion.
I do too.
Because prize is an inanimate object that you win by making a basket or winning a game or something. When we talking about relationships, it's a mutual decision. The person that you with has to be willing to be with you, and it has to stay that way. And the reason that it requires work is because you can change your mind at any minute. At any minute, a husband or a wife can say, "Man, fuck this, I'm done." You know what I'm saying? Like, we see the divorce rate. We see how many women just go, "You know what? I'm not happy anymore. I'm breaking up my family. I'm leaving my husband." So you have to actually work to make sure that y'all stay on the same page and y'all have the common goal of making it work.
Yeah. See, I think that. Go ahead, Jay.
I was just saying, I don't see why women had a problem with what he said. I mean, if you think about it, He's playing in the top league in the world. He's one of 1,500 best football players in the world. I mean, listen, only 1% are going to end up playing in the NFL. So why would he believe that? I have no problem with it. Think about this for a second, right? If Travis Kelce went up there and said, "Hey, he's the prize," would they have the same problem with that?
Probably not.
I seriously doubt it.
Probably not.
I seriously doubt it.
Oh, he's right. Yeah, he's. Listen, this here's why I think that it can be applied to people, right? The word prize. Mm-hmm. It says a thing given, Terry, you was right, but I'm going to read the official definition. It says a thing given as a reward to the winner of a competition or in recognition of an outstanding achievement. Look, when we decide that, hey, okay, I want to be in a relationship with you. Do you want to be in a relationship with me? Sure, I want to be in a relationship with you. Hey, it's a competition. You could have had any of these other men. You could have had any of these other women. But we eliminated them from the competition, and now we are rewarding each other, hey, with this relationship because we two good people. We two good people that treat each other with respect and trying to go further with this here. And it's an outstanding achievement if y'all mess around and y'all get married. I ask you, you accept. I'm worthy of that from you. You worthy of that from me. To me, that's that's two people.
Okay, that's fair.
People. Yeah, to me, two good people are prizes out here in the dating world because these here things are so elusive, especially for women when you talk about relationships and marriage. And then for men, it's so elusive to find an actual good woman that'll be there through you, that means her vows for better or for worse, and will stick it out with you and not just leave you because she's feeling different one morning that she wakes up. So those types of people are prizes to me in the dating world, both men and women.
All right, I can agree. I can agree with that interpretation.
That's a fair point.
But the way that it get used on social media, bro,
it's an ego thing
to me,
on social
because
media.
because in essence, with how big of an uphill battle dating is for women, any woman that finds a quality dude that is willing to settle down and try to make things work long term with them, you better treat him like he's a prize. You know what I'm saying? Like, you better alter your perspective, because you probably are not going to find very many men in your life that are going to feel that way towards you. And so I think a lot of women, they fumble those guys because they feel like they got the Jonathan Owens coming down, the young, fit, rich dude that's going to sweep them off their feet. Like, that's a very, very small percentage of guys. And the majority of them don't want to settle down and get married in their 20s.
Good luck. Especially married to a 4 that's overweight. Good luck.
Right.
Yeah.
See, and that one thing that I liked about the situation, though, Simone Biles is not known for having a big booty or a very cute shape. She didn't go get a BBL. She's not known for being loud or boisterous. She's a very humble, down-to-earth woman. But it seems like she gets criticized by her comrades for just about everything. They criticize her hair. They criticize how she looked at the wedding. They criticize her on just about everything, even though she's accomplished all the goals that they have.
Terry,
you know what? Don't make a lot of sense.
You know why? Because they don't. Because remember now, when she got married, who talked about her hair, her shoes, her outfit? It wasn't. Who talked about it? The women. Yep. They dogged this chick out, right? Listen, and now they throwing all this here stuff out here. You know what I think? I think that they think Simone Biles ain't good enough for him physically, because Simone Biles, like you said, she's not the physical thing that the prototype that we see out here on social media. Right. Looks wise, bodies wise, all of that. But look, she got a top 2% man out here. And all of these here chicks out here is searching for this man that she was able to get. Why you think they hating on her so much? She's happy. Simone Biles is happy, but I don't think because they don't want to talk about
smart. Her. She's very smart. You know, because the smartest thing that she did is she took initiative. We talk about it all the time. In the way the dating world is set up, the person that actually even puts a little bit of effort into screening or filtering their potential candidates, significantly increases their chances of success. So her sliding his DM and shooting him a shot, she drastically increased her odds of success. So more women should take that approach. You don't lose much by sending a message or expressing interest in a guy.
Yeah, especially online and on social media, it's impersonal. If he ain't feeling it, guess what? He don't know you anyway. Yeah, he don't know you anyway. You don't know him. No harm, no foul. You're not gonna see him outside 9 times out of 10. Hey, whatever, and you can keep it moving. So you're right. Their success rate would be a lot higher if they did it.
Yeah, I mean that's because as a guy that happens so rarely. You know what I'm saying? Like that somebody that you actually find attractive is actually doing something that shows genuine interest in you, especially when it's more than what you've done to them. Like I know it's worked on me. I remember I ended up being in a relationship with a chick because on our first date, I didn't know she knew it was my it was like my partner had set us up like a double date type thing, but it was my birthday, and she came to the date with a birthday card. That was it. It was a birthday card. But the fact that you actually went out your way that sealed the deal. And
did you keep our panties?
Yes, I did. Yes, her panties.
Your full.
This was the Polaroid days, so a lot of her pictures was in there too.
Oh,
that's what it is. All right, man. Let me get out of here before I get in some more trouble, man. We are about to take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna be getting into tonight's topic: New Year, New Me, where we're talking about self-improvement and why it's such an important part of a healthy relationship. Y'all are tuned into the Ho to Husband podcast. We'll be back in a moment. Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Ho to Husband podcast. Tonight's topic, episode is titled New Year, New Me. We're talking about the importance of self-improvement and ambition. Now, for men, it's always been a vital component to having dating success because a man's drive and ambition is one of the fundamental things that men that are providers have. It's one of the characteristics that all of them have in common. And so no matter what you look like or where you at, if you have drive and ambition and you're working to have, to get the rewards that come with those things, it puts you in a position to have success with women, no matter what.
Yeah, a lot of times you hear women want men to lead them, right? Well, one of those things that's attractive to women is seeing that you're leading your own life right. You can't do that without drive and ambition. You gotta you on a path and you handling your business, your priorities in order, your living space is in order, the way you carry yourself, all these different things is in order. That's typically why women like older men also, because older men have got to a place, where their drive and ambition have led them to stability. That's what those things do for a man. Drive and ambition leads a young man to stability as an older man, closer to 35, 38, 40, whatever the case. And those things to women are essential for relationships. So if you're young, you show those things younger. If you're older,
Sure.
you have that stability and things that women gravitate to, because they want men to be leaders. They want men to be providers. And those two things are foundational things for men, and women love them. Jay, what you think?
No, drive and ambition is a big component to have as a man, especially to attract one. Like, the women doesn't want the guy that's unambitious, doesn't have drive, maybe
Lazy,
not motivated, smoke, lays on his mama's couch, smokes weed all day, plays video games, Xbox. They're not going to be attracted. I mean, maybe in his 20s in college, maybe.
Yeah, when
in college,
young,
you see folks do that in college, right? But after 25, in your 30s, that's not the guy women wanted, ideally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a lot of women make the mistake of feeling that men value those things as much as they do. We see the women that brag about how much they make and what they do for a living and all those things. When really that doesn't mean much to the type of men that women actually want. Guys that actually have careers and actually have stable lives. They're not like, oh my God, she make a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not looking at a woman based off of what her career is, the way that women get gassed up when they find out you get in the bag. And so I think men expect women to show drive in a different way. Like, I think the most important thing for women to kind of demonstrate or something that would turn a guy on is a woman that's dedicated to her fitness or dedicated to her, self-improvement and making sure that she's better in the ways that appeal to men. That's a woman's best bet, in my opinion.
For sure, 100%. She has drive in like you said, working out or learning or her cooking. You know what I'm saying? Or being a homemaker, or taking care of her man, like her femininity. That's what drives her to want to do these here things. That's what she's ambitious about. That's what women back in the day used to be ambitious about. Family, doing things at home, fixing a man plate, making sure he got something to eat when he come home, because he's ambitious about taking care of her and keeping a roof over their head, right? So that was the thing. Now, like you mentioned, Terry, now those qualities in a lot of women are gone. Now they doing the same thing. They focus more on the things that men focus on, and try to force that on us to take them, because that's what they like in us, and it just don't resonate the same.
Actually, it's crazy that you say, fix a man's plate, make sure you come home to me. Nowadays, there's debates about that. Some of that stuff is even frowned upon by some women in this day and age. That's the crazy part. But I think for a woman, like Terry said, having a drive for a woman is different in a way, because it's not just necessarily being ambitious at your job and getting those promotions. Although it's good to have, it's not a necessity, right? Yeah. One of the things you want to look at as far as drive, how does she upkeep a household? Does she make sure you're coming home to a clean home? Cooking skills, fitness, and things of that sort, or even trying to learn new things. That's
I mean, for men or women, I've always thought that a person's attitude towards learning new things or self-improvement, it's a reflection of who they are as a core. Somebody that doesn't want to learn anything or stuck to old ways, it's going to be very hard to have a healthy relationship that lasts long term with them, because you have to grow and evolve in order to adapt to the world that we live in. You know what I mean? Like, if you have you dating a dude in 2023 that refused to get, he don't do digital apps, he don't do smartphones. Like, you gonna struggle, you know what I'm saying, in 2025 and 2026 with that type of guy. And so how a person views those things, I think, is very telling, and those are the kind of things that you should be paying attention to during the dating phase.
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of men, especially when they actually get up to around they 40s or late 30s, and they established and stable and all of those things, I think that's another reason why men gravitate towards younger women, because younger women a lot of times are a lot more teachable. at that particular time, you know, and ready to and more flexible they used to be than a woman that's more his age at 39, 40, who've been ambitious, who've been driven, who've been assertive out in the corporate world where she ain't really worked on those feminine traits and feminine aspects of conforming with a man and cooperating with a man and letting a man lead them. Men, if you talk to the men, they want the one with the less baggage, the less trauma, the less masculinity that she's been walking in all these years. So men tend to go for the younger woman because they're a little more moldable and teachable, because after all women out here want to be led by a man, right? They want to be led by him, and they want a man that's got more experience than they do so that he can teach them. So if that's the case, you have to be a willing follower and be ready to learn from this man that you're asking to lead you. And a lot of the career-driven, assertive women nowadays just don't have that mindset for that. So men tend to avoid them a lot of times when it comes to serious relationships.
Yeah, I think it's real important, or an underrated component of what it takes to have a healthy relationship is the self-awareness. Absolutely. You have to have the self-awareness to know when your thinking or your behavior or even your attitude, how something that you said or done may have come across, how that impacts you, or when that is impacting your relationship in a negative way. And it's something that is a critical component of being a good spouse or a good partner. But it's also relevant when it comes to being a parent. You know, everything that you do or everything you say to your kid as a parent is not always going to be right. So there are times you're going to have to apologize. You're going to have to correct it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have to learn and grow as a parent, as a spouse, or even it's really no different than how you grow as an employee with development and training and classes, etc.
Yeah. So I think self-awareness, in order to improve in anything, I think self-awareness is the first step there. And I think in a lot of, especially when it comes to relationships, a lot of people lack that self-awareness. So they think whatever they do is right. There's nothing wrong with what they do. And you see this more in women. I mean, don't get it wrong, there's men that's like that too, but I see this more in women, but they just don't have that wherewithal, self-awareness to know what they're doing wrong.
Yeah, that's why the mind, like, you know, man, being out here in the dating world and, you know what I'm saying, wanting to date and all these different things, it's so important for me to see how a woman thinks, to see how she thinks about, like not just herself, but other situations also. Because if you can't recognize the wrong that a woman is doing because it's a woman, even though it's clear as day that she's out of order, wrong, whatever the case, if you can't recognize that, you ain't gonna recognize it in yourself either. You gonna be selfish with what you do. And now we gonna have conflict because if it's something that you're doing wrong, I'm gonna call it out. And if you can't hold yourself accountable and be self-aware of what you do and if you're wrong or not, it's gonna cause us to clash. And I steer clear away from women that have certain mindsets. When I talk to them or when I see them on social media making certain comments or whatever, I steer clear away from those women because I see the problem ahead of time if I get with them, because they feel like it's just it's an ongoing thing that a lot of women feel they do no wrong. I asked a question the other day where I said, hey, if a man cheats, is it typically because he's a hoe or because the woman wasn't providing him with something? 80% of women said because he's a hoe, because he was a hoe, right? I flipped that and I said, ladies, if a woman cheats, is it usually because she a hoe or because her man ain't providing something? 80% said it's because her man wasn't providing something. It was the complete opposite.
They always come up with reasons when it's the woman cheating.
Exactly.
Lack of consistency.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, though. It's that it's not. It's an outside thing, but if they are in that situation or any situation of something like that, they're not going to see them as being wrong and be self-aware of themselves. It's going to be somebody else's fault. And if it's somebody else's fault now, in different scenarios, when this person is clearly in the wrong, then I know that later on in a relationship, it's going to be a problem for us, because you're not self-aware and self accountable to hold yourself accountable for certain things that you do wrong within a relationship.
And you can tell people like that just through one or two conversations like that, where they talking in circles, or I mean, we the experts on social media that have these polls and discussions. So we've been dealing with it for years, but it happens in real life all the time, where you can post one poll and then put, like you just did, post the opposite, and then they completely reverse their stance. And their logic or the point that they stand on is clearly not consistent. But you know what I noticed? Those women that are like that on social media, they always accuse me of being like that. Oh, you're only saying this because it's a man. And this man. It's like, hold on. I can criticize or call a man out. I do it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't agree with everything men do. But anything that I disagree with or find fault with, I can explain the logic. Why was it fault? Why, you know what I'm saying? Why I felt that way, etc. And when you have somebody that just can't identify enough somebody else that's a problem, you already know that. To me, paying attention to what they post on social media on some of these pages like ours, that lady, you gonna either make or break yourself.
Yep. Or some of those comments on Shade Room Spiritual Word. They tell you everything you need to know. Yeah, it tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, go to Justin LeBoy page, man. Go to his page.
Especially they share some of this stuff.
Cash facts.
They tell on themselves every day. Yeah. They tell on themselves, man. And you know what I mean? And smart men sit back and look and be like, oh, okay, this is how you think. It's one thing to follow them. I don't care. You follow whoever. But it's another to repost it with a caption that say, yep, see, this why I ain't doing such and stuff. Okay. Okay, cool. I see how you're doing here. So, you know, but it's important. It's important for both people to be like that, not just the women. We want to make that clear, right? It's important. Yep. It's important for the men also to be self-aware and accountable for the different things that they do, and not just look at your woman and you can point out everything that she do wrong, but you can't point out that, you know, you're wrong about something, and that's just not the right way to be. So as a man and the leader, you have to be that way first, because a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, if you with a woman, sometimes your actions can teach her how to be a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes. That's why it's important for men to really work on these here different things, you know, because, you know, the woman want them to lead, and there's no better way to lead than to lead by example.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jay.
I agree. I think part of, like, you know, being a man and being a leader is really being accountable for your actions, right? You know, right or wrong. You know, I mean, I think people should be accountable in general, but I think as a man, I feel you can't call yourself a man and you're not accountable about anything. Everything's always somebody else's fault. It's everybody else's fault but yours. Yeah.
It don't work like that.
Do something, right? If you make a decision as a man, and your logic, even if what you intended to happen, it turns out wrong, or you miscalculated, or whatever the case may be, you should be able to explain what your thought process was, or your logic and reasoning was, based off the set of facts or the information you had at the time. And so that's why I feel comfortable. I can speak on anything, because you might not agree with me, but I can assure you, I make decisions for a living. You might not agree with my decision, but it's well thought out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not just out here making crash dummy moves, especially on things that are actually important. And when it comes to a relationship, your decision making, how you handle others, all of that is very critical, because, man, ain't nothing more difficult than maintaining a household and raising a family.
Yeah. Absolutely. You have to. You got to be as a man. You got to be aware of everything, not just you, but you got to be aware of your family and all that stuff, man, so that you can make the correct decisions, like you said. And as a married man, I'm sure you that job is never done. You always doing stuff like that as a married man. As a single dude, out here, I don't have nobody, you know what I'm saying, that I have to try to self-correct for in a relationship sense. But sometimes at work, you know what I'm saying, I'll go, somebody say something to me, one of these white dudes say something out the side of their neck, and now I gotta go off on them. You know what I mean? Sometimes I gotta sit back, like, all right, you did too much, man. You know what I'm saying? You did too much. So, you gotta be able to see when you doing too much, when you out of line, when you out of order, and be able to step up and say, hey man, you know what? That was my fault. I shouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have talked about your forehead like that, man. You know what I'm saying? That was wrong. You have to be that way. So I get it. So
act on it too. Pride to the side, and that's essentially what the effort for self-improvement is. Because when your spouse does come to you with a criticism or something that's a problem, the thing that demonstrates love or that you care is a change in action. And that goes for men or women. Your spouse comes to you with a legit complaint or a legit problem. The best thing that you can do is show them that you're actively trying to correct the problem. I remember last February, my wife came and told me I was gaining weight. Increase my workout ethic. She actually saw the change in my behavior, waking up 40 minutes earlier, doing different things. That effort and that discipline to actually improve goes a long way. And it gains you respect. When you do have a shortcoming or you do something wrong, it's not treated as harshly when they see you putting effort in other areas.
Yeah, you're right about that. But do you see people being complacent out here in the dating world, even though they say that they want a good man or a good woman? Do you see a lot of people working on themselves in order? It could be physically, it could be mentally, it could be anything. Like, what do you see out there?
On social media, it's hard to gauge, but I think just in general, I think especially with women, they approach dating or they view it from what they won't do. They search for things that they don't like. They focus on what they won't do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's kind of how their stance on, no, yeah, I'm not doing this and I'm not doing this, and like they kind of have this checklist of what'll get a guy hurt. And to me, that's a flawed mentality or a flawed perspective, because they're not putting no energy into the things that actually make them more desirable.
Absolutely. I think in the dating, I think a lot of people do become complacent, because what is complacent? What's another word for it? A comfort zone. And I think what it is, especially in the dating world, people want to do what's comfortable as opposed to actually going out and doing, putting the work is hard, so it's comfortable to go back to what and go back to, even whether it's a bad habit or not, it's comfortable to just go back to that, as opposed to saying, okay, I'm going to put in this work to really self-improve and improve my dating test. How many women get out here and say, oh, well, take me as I am. You can't accept me for who I am or what I am. Oh, he don't need to be with me. Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? Men typically will do anything to get what they want. Men will make, like, hey, let him, if he's smart and he ain't able to suck no titties, he gonna be like, all right, now what I gotta do? Now I gotta be able to do something. And he gonna change something. Like, if you smart, you're gonna change something to put yourself.
Get his haircut.
Come on, man. Like, that's what smart men do. I know I always did. Oh, women don't like dudes that sag their pants no more. Women don't like 35-year-old men with mohawks no more. Oh, okay. Women like dudes with beards. Let me try to grow this beard out. Like, as a smart man that actually, wants something from a woman, be it whatever it is, you move in that way to increase your odds of getting it. But like you said, a lot of women be like, "No, forget this. I'm I'm 100 pounds overweight. Men like big girls too. Even though it decreases their odds. Even though it drastically decreases their odds to be obese. It drastically decreases their odds to be completely overweight and out of shape and shaped like a bag of laundry. It completely decreases their odds. It's the equivalent of a man saying, you know what, I'm fine working at Taco Bell, making $15 an hour. He 37, 38. It's the equivalent of that. Like you're drastically decreasing your odds. And I think that a lot of women become complacent when it comes to the physical aspects and the qualities that men actually like and want in a woman. When you talk about being submissive, when you talk about being cooperative and agreeable with a man, you get a lot of pushback just on those things because they feel like I don't have to, and they ain't gonna really make no changes to it. And they really crippling themselves out here in the dating world, being complacent like that.
Resolutions, a lot of promises, a lot of, announcements on changes that people are gonna make. But you difference when somebody actually follows through with some action. Everybody's at the gym the first couple weeks in January. You know what I'm saying? But the people I know that are serious about their fitness was working out August, September, and October. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't wait until the beginning of the year to start trying to implement changes and make improvements, because that's something that you're constantly doing. Found somebody that kind of has that mindset, especially as they start to age. Things that I've noticed, you see, they start listening to podcasts, trying to learn things. They start downloading audiobooks, and they start, start tapping into other ways that they can learn how to do things or learn how to improve on things. And those are the kind of people that you want to have in your circle.
Cool. Absolutely right.
Looks like we are up against the clock. We about to get up out of here, but before we go, I want to give another shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us laced with our audio music. I want to remind y'all to continue supporting the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. JSD, man, I appreciate y'all linking up so we can get this episode knocked out. It's the last one for 2023. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do with the podcast going forward. This has been another episode of the Ho to Husband podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.